In today's episode, what we're going to talk about is how to negotiate salary during an interview. And by the way, what I'm going to show you is how to do it like a freaking ninja. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%. And if this is your first time joining us, Career Strategies is all about sharing ideas, strategies, and concepts that are going to help you become more successful in less time. So, if this sounds like something you're interested in learning more about, then do me a favor and smash that subscribe button and join the family. And don't forget to hit that little bell notification. I'll be dropping a new episode every Tuesday, and I don't want you to miss out. Okay, so again, what we're talking about in today's episode is how to negotiate salary during an interview like a freaking ninja. So let's dive right into it. So what I'm going to share with you are 6 strategies that have helped me tremendously and have helped others that I've helped in the past tremendously. And hopefully these 6 strategies will help you tremendously when it comes to negotiating salary. All right, let's talk about it. Strategy number 6, you have to be sold on the value that you bring before you even become a blip on their radar. Please listen to me and listen to me closely. You have to be sold on you. You have to be sold on your value. You have to be sold on the fact that you're going to bring way more value to them than any amount of money that they're going to possibly be able to offer you. Okay. See, this is where a lot of people mess up when it comes to negotiating salary, because they're not even sold on themselves before they even get in the process. Right. Because and here's why it's so important that you have to be sold before you even become a blip on their radar. You have to be sold early before you even apply for the role, because here's the thing. Once you become a blip on the radar of a hiring decision maker, you got to understand that that's really where the negotiation has begun. All right. The moment that they see your resume, the negotiation has begun. All right. And this is vitally important because see, what a lot of people do is they just kind of wing it. They're just applying the stuff and they're like, man, I just hope somebody, I hope somebody just gives me what I want. Huh? It doesn't really work that way though. Okay. So you have to be sold. You have to do the work in advance and sell yourself on your value. If you want to get top dollar, okay? If you want to do it like a ninja, and get the money, then you have to be sold before you even become a blip on a hiring decision maker's radar. All right? Strategy number 5, always, and I do mean always, ask on the high side of normal. Okay, so now this is where it's very important for you to do your research, because, you know, I don't know what specific profession that you're in or what the industry norms are for what it is that you do as far as pay is concerned. But what you have to do is you have to do your best to do your research in advance. And so let's just say that you do your research and you determine that for your position in your industry, the average, let's say base salary is somewhere between 100 to 120. If that's the case, right? 100,000 to 120,000. If that is the case, what I would personally do is I would probably ask for 125. Okay. And here's why. You want to ask on the high side of normal, because always remember this. You can always go down if needed, but it's extremely hard to go up if needed. Right. And see, the people that I've seen that are able to actually get the type of compensation that they're interested in are the ones who ask on the high side of normal from the very beginning of the process. All right. Strategy number 4, you have to create the thank God effect. Okay, now this is huge. This is outrageously important. Okay, you have to create the thank God effect. Now, what is the thank God effect? So one of the things that I always try to teach candidates is that when you're going through the job interview process, literally every single thing that you say and every single thing that you do matters. Okay, every single thing matters. And so what you have to do is you have to create the thank God effect. Now think about it like this. I want you to take a step out of yourself for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to do something very unnatural here, and take a step out of yourself and out of the things that you want in the process, and put yourself in the shoes of a potential hiring decision maker. Okay, now ask yourself, what is it that that person wants? What is it that he or she wants? What is it that he or she is trying to accomplish? Now, once you do that, then I want you to look at your background and I want you to ask yourself, are you the solution? But more importantly, have you positioned yourself as the solution, not a solution, right? Because a solution means that there are other possible solutions. But I'm talking about, I want you to position yourself as the solution. Okay. Now, what does this have to do with negotiating your salary? Listen, if you want to get top dollar, okay, you have to create the thank God effect. You have to position yourself so well in the job interview process, and you have to interview so well and create your perception so well that it's almost as if the company can't say no to you. Okay. Now there can reach a point to where they'll just have to cut their losses, even though they're absolutely in love with you. They might not be able to afford you. Okay. But if you have properly done your research and you've asked just on the high side of normal, let me tell you something. If you create the thank God effect for somebody, they will move the heavens and the earth to try to make it work. Okay. Because let me tell you something, in the job interview process, 99% of the people that apply for jobs today should be smacked. Virtually smacked, okay, for applying to that job, okay? They have no business applying to the job, right? So when you come around and you create that thank God effect, man, they'll fall in love with you. They'll do everything within their power to make it work, including giving you what you asked for. And also negotiating with you if needed. Strategy number 3, you have to stand on your value. Okay. Now I told you early on before getting involved in the process, before even becoming a blip on their radar, you wanted to make sure that you're sold on yourself. But now here's the thing, the sale doesn't end, my friend. Okay. There may be instances in the job interview process where you're going to have to remain sold on your number. You're going to have to stand on your number. You cannot fold under pressure. Okay? Because please understand, especially in HR, that is their job. They do not want to overpay for someone. Okay? Right. And I'm not telling you to ask for them to overpay for you. I'm telling you to be sold on your number. OK, but part of being sold on your number is you got to stand on that number. OK, so if you ask for, like in the previous example, if you ask for 125, you need to be consistent with that number throughout the entire process. And then at the very end, if you have fallen in love with them and they have fallen in love with you, and you may be willing to compromise just a little bit, then maybe you can consider going down in that number at that point in time. Okay. But until they fall in love and you fall in love, you need to stand strong on your number. You need to know your value. Okay. Because the moment that you start compromising too early in the process, you're positioning yourself to not negotiate well in the process. Strategy number 2, you got to show them the end of the road. Now, this is huge. This is huge. You got to show them the end of the road. So one of the things that you have to understand is that as much as you don't like negotiating, I assure you that most people in the job interview process don't like negotiating either. negotiating can be extremely uncomfortable for both parties. Okay. And so what you have to do as a candidate to be skillful about this. Okay. And if you want to improve your odds of having success, you have to be able to show them where's the end of the road. And what I mean by that is all they want to know if they engage in some type of negotiation with you. The only thing that company and those hiring decision makers care about is where will you say yes? That's the magic word. Okay. They don't care. They're not trying to go back and forth. I don't know a single company. I don't know a single HR person that wants to go back and forth, or a single hiring decision maker that wants to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth like they do in the movies when it comes to negotiating. I don't know any of them that want to do that. Okay. So what you want to do is, and how you want to be skillful is, you want to show them where does the road end, right? You want to show them, I will say yes at 125, at 125,000 as a base salary. I am prepared to say yes immediately. See, when you start talking like that, okay, it's like they just get the warm and fuzzies because they know that the end of the road is coming. What they don't want to do is they don't want to go and start negotiating with you, changing the offer, going through the whole process of getting the proper approvals just for you to say no to a number that they thought you would say yes to. Okay. So as a candidate, you got to show them where the end of the road is. And then lastly, strategy number 1, and this is another big one. When all else fails, you might have to take an L. Okay. You might have to just take an L. You might have to reject the offer if you want to negotiate well. Now, I know this sounds kind of strange. Okay. But I have been involved in deals as an executive recruiter, where it got to a point to where the candidate just flat out had to say, you know what? I can't accept this offer. Okay. And they had to get up and walk away from the table in order for the company to realize the gravity of the candidate that they're about to lose. Right now, this is after, and by the way, you can't do this too soon, by the way. Okay. This has to be like this has to be like the big joker, right? This has to be like you got the big joker in your hand and you're hoping that you can win the last book. Okay. With the big joker. See, sometimes you have to walk away. Okay. It can be uncomfortable. And here's the thing. The reason why I say you got to be willing to take an L is because you might walk away from the table and they may not come back with a counter offer. Okay. Especially depending on how you go about it. Okay. But there are some situations that I've personally been a part of, some situations where if you do this strategically and you reject an offer and you say, you know what? Hey, listen, thank you so much for the opportunity, but I just can't say yes to this. And you can make sense out of it. I've seen situations where a company will reconsider and go ahead and bump up, if it's within reason, to what a candidate has said they need in order to move forward. Okay. Now listen, hopefully you got great value from today's video. If you haven't done so already, I want you to pick up a copy of my book, The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired: How to Land the Job of Your Dreams Regardless of the Competition. In this book, I'm going to teach you how to gain an unfair advantage in the job interview process by showing you how to strategically position yourself as the ideal candidate of choice for any job that you are qualified to attain. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how you can the easiest way for you to position yourself to consistently get the very best job offer. Now, if that sounds like something you're interested in learning more about, head on over to my website and order a copy of my book today, which is at www.theuglytruthbook.com. Again, www.theuglytruthbook.com. And one more time for good luck, www.theuglytruthbook.com. Listen, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. And please don't forget, if you want top dollar, you better skill up because nobody's going to give it to you. And that's based on a true story.